It's another beautiful day here in Columbia, Maryland, as the Howard Community College Dragons women's soccer team is back in action at the Dragons Lair, as today they will take on the Hagerstown Hawks. Mark Winkle bringing you the action today. The Dragons coming in with a beautiful 5-1 record and have regained their mojo after that solo loss to CCBC Essex. For the Hawks, they come in with a 1-5 record and are heading in a bit the opposite direction. They did just beat the College of Southern Maryland 3-1 back on September 11th, but are coming off a 2-1 loss against Anne Arundel on the 21st. Hagerstown has also lost to Hartford 4-0, Christendom 3-2, and these two teams did play each other earlier in the season, and the Dragons took that 2-0. Howard are on the front foot already. Sonati slides it over to Stangerlin, and it's taken off the foot of Stangerlin right as she was looking to shoot. And a critical interception by Ava Berger. For the Dragons, like I said, they're 5-1. They've won 3 straight. They did start their season at Hagerstown with a 2-0 win. Since then, they beat Anne Arundel 3-0. They lost to Essex 4-2, beat Brookdale 3-1, and then have just been on a goal-scoring streak since then, taking out Lackawanna College 9-1 and Potomac State 7-0. And the goals have come from all over on this team. Of the 26 goals the Dragons have scored this year, they have 12 different goal scorers. And it is very much a well-rounded team. In fact, in addition to the 12 goal scorers, they have 9 different players with assists as well. The team lead in goals right now is the Dragons' number 2, Talia Stangerlin, as she has been on fire recently, really starting to catch on the fire that the Dragons were hoping for. Tessa Sonati, she has also been scoring a bunch of goals and getting points recently. She's got 4 goals with 3 assists. Lillian Scott, 3 goals, 4 assists, tied for the team lead on it with assists with Amy Rodriguez, who also has 4. Jobst kicks that forward for the Dragons. Now here goes Stangerlin. She has run past the defense. Stangerlin into the box. Tries to get in there, but she is shielded off the ball by Brooke Jordan, as Stangerlin just hit that last dribble a little bit too hard, and it rolled right into the waiting hands of the Hawks goalkeeper, number 8, Hannah Hoffman, the freshman out of Hagerstown, Maryland. Hagerstown will try to counter quick as Marissa Falk was able to put some pressure on Jobst, and Jobst just plays it out safely. Now the Dragons will try to counter. Sonati is able to shield off Marin Buckley, but given away now. Sonati, she'll pick this one up off of the poor clearance attempt. Now it's going to be Stangerlin. Stangerlin will try a one-timer, as she just tried to redirect that ball into the goal and just got a little bit around the ball too much as she hits it wide right of the net. But so far, Stangerlin has had multiple good chances, as she will look to terrorize this Hagerstown Hawks defense, who right now is searching for an answer, especially when the Dragons are not even letting the Hawks getting out in their own half. Scott slides over to Sonati. Sonati into the box. She'll try to slide one across to Stangerlin, but it is blocked away. Stangerlin does pick it up. Nauman will try a shot, but the ball was caught under her feet a little bit and couldn't really swing her foot through it. Ended up being a chipped shot saved by Buckley. Punted away by Hoffman. Dragons will pick up possession as Sophie Poloni will give it to Jobst. Good pass up to Nauman. This is Molly Nichols. Plays it back to Poloni and chips it forward, finds Stangerlin. Stangerlin flips it forward, trying to find Nauman. And that is going to be a handball on the Hawks. And now the Dragons will be able to move forward. The powerful left foot of Sophie Jobst will stand over the ball right now, and this is within shooting range. There's 2.5 Hawks in the wall right now, maybe 3. They're undecided on how to handle that. Jobst could just try to drive one to the goal. She's going to just do that, and it goes off the crossbar and in! Sophie Jobst, what a shot! As that one hits just off the bottom of the crossbar, goes straight down and into the net. We mentioned that she's got a powerful left foot. She hit that one with power, but also just placed it in the perfect spot. As Hoffman, there was nothing she could do about that one. So for Jobst, that is her second goal of the season. She has been the primary set piece taker for the Dragons and has created multiple assists and goals off of that left leg of hers in doing so. Dragons utilizing that skill. She has the ability to both play some strong-willed defense, but also just hit that beautiful hit. As I mentioned, she just drove that one forward, didn't really curl it at all. Just powered it into the top of the net. Now Hagerstown, will they have an answer? As Falk pushes it forward, trying to find her captain, Megan Stotch. Stotch is still following it up, and Jobst will play it out for a Hagerstown throw-in. So Hagerstown will make their first substitution, as Abby Sprecher will come in with Ava Berger taking a break. And mentioned before, the Hawks defense, they'll have quite a task in front of them. Stangerlin finds Scott. If Scott turns around, she sees Snotty making the run. Instead, Scott will play for Stangerlin. Stangerlin is just going to run right past the Hagerstown defense. She goes into the box, but a good recovery by Brooke Jordan, as the sophomore is able to catch all the way back up and hit it out, but it will be a Dragons corner kick. I will say Scott missed the wide open run of Sonati on the far side. She didn't really turn her head around to see that there was nobody within 20 yards of Sonati. Now Nichols will play it short for Jobst. Jobst will take a touch to settle it down. Now she'll hit one into the box. It's going to be blocked away by Elizabeth Schenk. And misplayed by Jobst and will be out for a Hagerstown throw-in. Hawks head coach Clifton Williams in his 5th year at the helm of the women's soccer program. In fact, a Hagerstown alumni back in 1985 and coming back to the school in which he started his college education at. Had previously served as an assistant coach for the men's soccer program before taking over the women's soccer team. So he has quite a history with the game. As for the Dragons, head coach Kate Seagroves in her 22nd season as the head coach of the Dragons. And what a history it has been. And in fact, she might be in the prime of her coaching right now, as she has been to 3 straight national tournament appearances, trying to make it 4 for 4. Hawks trying to slowly move the ball up the field through the sideline. Stotch will throw it backwards, and Skylar Wetzel tried to play back and misplayed that one. Nichols finds Rollins in the middle of the park. Rollins hasn't really made a touch on the ball in this game, does get involved there. As the Dragons will now try the opposite side. Zubak, the typical center midfielder for the Dragons, is moving back to the right back spot with Riley Scott out injured. And she's going to be able to move it to Sonati. She's got 5 Dragons in the box waiting for it. Stangerlin will get ahead on the ball and couldn't direct it enough to go towards goal as it will go wide. But a great job by the Dragons to work their way up the field. And again, just looking at how many bodies they're pushing forward to get into the box for that cross. I believe the white shirts outnumbered the green on that instance. Hagerstown trying to throw it up, but Nauman will play back for Jobst. She'll hit a mortar shot back into the box. Rollins will pick up the second ball. Rollins will try a long left-footed shot, and that will go over the crossbar and out for a goal kick. So a triple substitution for Hagerstown as they will try to utilize a very deep bench for them. As they bring a full roster to town. But in for the green-shirted ladies are Molly Brashears, Hannah Mendez, and Delaney Dudley, with Shank, Stotch, and Buckley taking a seat on the bench. Rollins does a good job of recovering and picking up the ball. She'll try to hit it forward, taken away by Wetzel. And Wetzel will just hit one to the corner and out for a throw-in. For Hagerstown, struggled to put the ball in the net this year, having scored just 8 goals this season. And so far, we have not seen on the field their leading goal scorer, Madison Milburn. She's got 2 goals, but do not see her on the field so far. For Hagerstown, they come in averaging 16 shots per game. However, the Dragons, considerable advantage there as they average 25 shots per game and 4.5 goals per game, allowing just 1 goal per game, having given up 6 goals in 6 games. And that's going to be right in there. A great job by Molly Nichols to just tap home, and the referee is now calling for the training staff onto the field, but it will be a good goal as Nichols gets credit for that one. So as the Dragon training staff takes a look at the injured goalkeeper of Hagerstown, we will take a quick timeout. Dragons ahead 2-0 early in the first half. Play is back in action here as the Dragon training staff looked over Hannah Hoffman, and it looked like she may have had some contact with her eye, and the referee, being on the safe side of things, has decided to bring the training staff. But she was cleared and is good to go as the Dragons men's basketball team. We can see them getting quite exuberant in the crowd today. Good to see the attendance at this fine soccer game. Beautiful day for soccer here. Sonati. What a turn by Sonati as she gets around her defender. Play on by the referee as she was fouled on the corner but dribbled herself all the way into trouble as Hoffman was able to scoop that up. But a great job by Sonati again. Just able to go right around. Stangerlin able to trap that ball on her thigh. Now tries to play back for Nauman. Good job by Nauman to come to it. Tries to find Rodriguez, who had just come into the game, replacing Scott on the front line. Now Zubak will play one deep and need forward by Jordan. And eventually cleaned up. Now the Hawks will try to counter. Zubak is able to play that one off of Spielman and out for a throw-in. Stangerlin trying to just run through the back of Abby Sprecher, and it will be out for a throw. Action-packed day on the campus of Howard Community College today as the construction vehicles were bulldozing the parking lot above us on this field here as they prepare to build the brand new athletic center for the Dragons athletics department as well as the math department. In addition, the festivities for this week are ongoing for the outgoing college president, Dr. Kate Hetherington, after 22 years of being at the college, 14 of which as the president, and is retiring with her last day on October 1st. In addition to that, you've got the men's soccer team who are actually playing at Hagerstown as we speak. If we get score updates to that one, we will keep you all in the know about how those teams are doing, as I'm sure there are interested parties for both of those teams paying attention today. And the Dragons volleyball team travels out to Harford Community College at 7 p.m. tonight. Throw in there as Delaney Dudley trying to work it down the field, and it will be out for a goal kick as Lily Scott will come back in the game after a short rest. And for Hagerstown, it will be Michaela Ick who comes in for Spielman. She makes her first appearance. Flick on header by Nichols. Scott gets to it. Rodriguez trying to run onto it, just couldn't quite get there in time. Nichols steps in front of that one. Now it's on the counter. Tries to play it for Rodriguez. Again, Rodriguez can't quite get to it first. And the Hawks will play it safely as Jordan just hits it out. Scott tries to turn, taken off her foot by Wetzel. So the Dragons will be forced to retreat and reset. Now Jobs will just play it deep. Going. Played forward up to Sonati. Sonati, she's got room to run onto it. Tessa Sonati just going to dribble right past her defender, Kreiner. Still Sonati down the far sideline. She's going to go around another one. Sonati into the box. It's trying to cross it in. It's going to be blocked by Sprecher and out for a corner kick. But what an effort by Tessa Sonati again, just dribbling halfway down the field, getting around defenders and creating an opportunity for her team. The left back for the Dragons, Sophie Jobs, she'll go over to the far sideline to take this corner kick. She puts this right in the middle of the box. Shot by Sangerlin. It's going to be saved by the goalkeeper. A great job by Sangerlin to come flying across the box and half volleyed it towards the net. But Hoffman was able to get low and take it away. Now the Dragons will look to go forward. Stangerlin gets it to Rodriguez. She tries to flick it on for Scott, but just a little bit too much. Job's able to trap it down. Nichols puts into the box. Nichols, Sailor coming onto it. Collision between the three players. Sonati tries his shot. That one's blocked away. There's still bodies in the middle of the box. Rollins picks it up for the Dragons. Tries to just poke it forward, and Rodriguez will run over Ashley Frey and get called for a foul. But the Hawks able to survive that one. Frey is looking like she's going to stall for a little bit, just waiting for her teammate Wetzel to get her shoe back tied. Now Frey will take a low line drive kick, is able to find Kreiner. And Poloni will just boot it out of play. Long ball by Jobs Ford. Now this one is right on the money. Rodriguez is able to get on the other end of it. She'll slow it down. Now she'll try to flick it forward for Scott. On the second try, she's able to do so. Scott tries to pull it back, but Wetzel is right there to take it away. have some other big games around the region today as the CCBC Essex Knights and the Southern Maryland Hawks started at 2 o'clock today, and that game went into overtime as a slide tackle there, a little bit late by Dudley, and Scott will go down and a foul is called. But the Knights were able to pull out a 4-3 win in overtime against Southern Maryland in a surprising effort there, but just goes to show you that the Southern Maryland Hawks, they are nothing to sneeze at. So as the Dragons have that game coming soon, that's going to be headed forward by Nichols. Great job by Nichols to get ahead on that one, but it will be saved by Hoffman. Also on the docket for today, Anne Arundel is playing at Montgomery. That game will start in about a half an hour. That's another big one. Now Sonati, she gets into the box. Sonati, that's one patted away by Hoffman. Scott comes down to it. Scott, shot, scores! Lily Scott puts it in. Tessa Sonati set it up, and the Dragons ahead 3-0. The hometown crowd enjoying that effort as the Dragons now really putting a firm control onto this game. Frey tries to hit it forward, and Dragons again take it away. Now going back the other way. Zubak looking to push forward. She's got room to run into. Sonati pointing for it. Zubak instead goes for Stangerlin. It finds her. What a pass there. Stangerlin chips it into the box. Scott trying to get onto it, but Hoffman will pick it up first before Scott can get to it. Another good build-up by the Dragons. Headed forward. And now the Hawks are able to pick it up in possession. Eck looking to go forward. It's going to hit sideways by Jackson, but it's Diana James trying to run to it. She will pick it up. Eck. Now she'll try to cross in the box. Poloni off her knee, goes straight up. She's trying to find it. Poloni goes straight through Stotch, but the referee says it was all ball. Excuse me, that was Shank that was trying to go forward with it, and she's walking back slowly after that collision. Nichols tries to overlap to Scott, but just a little bit too much on that. Frey throws it towards the middle. Again, Poloni running forward, takes that off her. Rollins shielding off the defender. As Wetzel just could not get onto it. Now Nichols surveying her options. Goes back to Rollins, back to Nichols. Now crossed into the middle. Nichols has it hit right back to her. As Connie Dvorak will make her first appearance into the game, replacing Talia Stangerlin. Jobs tries to play it forward. Taken away. Jordan gets it to Wetzel. Wetzel tries to bomb it over the top for Eck. Taken away by Jackson. Now Jackson dances around the Hawks. Gets it to Nichols. Now Nichols has options to go as she chips it over. Rodriguez has room to run to it. So Abigail Spielman will come back into the game as Elizabeth Shank, who had that collision earlier on the Dragon side of the field, is now limping off the field and will be attended to by the training staff. Zubak. Still Zubak as she does a little pump fake and tries to go around and dribbles herself out of bounds. Now Scott, she'll play it forward for Rodriguez. Rodriguez trying to get to it in time. She will get the first touch on it. Tries to get around Wetzel. Now she'll try a shot, and that one will curl away from the goal. And out for a goal kick. Hagerstown really trying to slow the pace of the game and just trying to regain themselves and work their way up. It's going to be hit deep by Wetzel. A charging Zubak comes taking away the ball. Now it's going to be Sonati again. Sonati just bombarding down the far side of the field. Sonati into the box. She'll cross it over, and that one just goes behind the net, and it's going to be deflected out for a goal kick. But there is an injured player on the field, and it will be one of the Hagerstown players. The training staff will attend to the player. We'll take a timeout. We are back in play here as the injured Abby Sprecher is able to walk off the field on her own power. And now the corner kick taken away by Hagerstown. They'll try to counter, and that one is just Not quite going to be the touch they're looking for. Now played wide. Stangerlin tried to step over it and go with it, but just a little bit too much and not enough room for her to work with. Frey just able to hit that out of her own zone, but the Dragons going right back at it. Zubak will pick the ball up, and that will go out of play again. This time Zubak throws over the top of him a little bit more. Dvorak was trying to run onto it. Hit away again. Now, it is going to be the Hagerstown Hawks trying to make a run of it. James plays it to the corner. It's going to be a foot race as Zubak was pushed far ahead, but Celia Jackson able to run back and cover her nicely. And now the Dragons will make another substitute as Issa Krutner will come in with Amy Rodriguez and her fine effort, earning a well-deserved rest. Jobes will take this goal kick. What a job by Stangerlin as she tries to just block that one from going out of bounds, but the backspin on it caused it to still continue to go out. Jobes taking the kicks today as Dragons goalkeeper Haley Murray trying to recover from a bit of a leg injury herself. Not stopping her from being able to stop shots, however, as Zubak trips over to her own feet. Snotty picks it up from there. Here comes Snotty again. She'll leave it off for Scott. Scott tries to find a overlapping Snotty on the give and go, but Berger cuts it out. And misplayed by that on that one to go out of bounds. Dvorak. Good work there to gain possession. Jobes tries to go over the top for Stangerlin, headed away. Good job by Spielman. Poloni. Good effort there. She wins the ball back. Now Rollins looking for somewhere to go with it. This time Stangerlin does a good job of trapping it down. She'll pick her head up to look. And that one will be hit out by Frey. And Dragons will make a double substitution now with Nichols going in for Sonati and Nauman in for Rollins. And again, the effort by both of those players really setting up a lot of chances for the Dragons, as the Hawks just have no answer for Sonati on that far sideline right now. Put in by Jobst. Scott gives it back to Zubak. Dvorak settles that down. Nauman trying to go through, and it's going to be cleared out by the Hawks again. Now Eck gives it to an overlapping James. James gives it back to Eck, and just runs into a wall, and it's going to be called interference on the Dragons by Madison Zubak, and it was just weird to see Zubak be the one get knocked to the ground, but she is the one called for a foul. Ultimately, I think that was a good call by the referee. Hawks able to get bodies forward for the first time really in this entire game, as they will ask for 10 yards on the two-player wall by the Dragons. Now, chipped into the box, and it's just going to one-hop to Murray without much trouble. Murray throws it out. Scott gives it to Nichols. Now, what can the Dragons do with this one? Nichols plays it up for Dvorak. What a perfectly weighted ball. Dvorak into the box, tries to dribble around Jordan. She will slide tackle in, and that shot will be saved by Hoffman. But a good counterattack by the Dragons. Misplayed by the Hawks there, and Howard will get another corner kick. Nichols on the far sideline will take this. Plays it low into the box, bouncing around dangerously. Dvorak will try to turn. Scott will try to turn. That shot's blocked. Ball bounces far out now. Eck waiting for help. She will lay it off for Stotch and tries to give the return ball. Jackson there to read it, but now the Hagerstown Hawks again trying to get forward with it. Nauman tries to come through. Eck shields her off. Eck just plays it off of Stotch. Now trying to shove Jackson off the ball. And Howard called for the foul. A great effort there by both of those Hawks in Stotch and Eck. And we'll see what they'll be able to do with this. It does look like it will be Michaela Eck, the freshman forward out of Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. And it looks like she's going to be trying to take a left-footed cross. Only one player running to the box for the Hawks, and that is going to be a problem as there's nobody there to get on the other end of it. Again, Haley Murray will just pick it up. Jopes and Stangerlin not on the same page there. Now they're going to have to fight their way back through it. Krutner and Dvorak, little miscommunication there. Jackson played off by Stotch running into it, and a great job by Murray to come off her line and snatch that one away, as the Dragons' defensive line had not really been following that run very well. Nauman, a great ball to switch the field. Stangerlin has a whole bunch of room in front of her. She's going to try to get around Frey, but Frey had the angle and plays it out. Nichols will run across the field for the corner kick. Nichols goes for the top of the box, headed forward by Stangerlin. Dvorak tries to get it. Now Scott will try a shot, and that one will go over the crossbar. Frey hits it to the middle of the field. Scott comes to it first off the one bounce, and then gets in the way of Nauman's pass. Played back to Zubak. Zubak chips it up. Misplayed by the Hawks there. Krutner trying to run onto it, but it will be Hoffman up to scoop it up. Nichols able to put enough pressure on that. Just 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Dragons with 3 on the board. 14 shots, 7 of which on goal. As Hannah Hoffman has come up with 4 saves. But the Hawks unable to get a shot yet in this contest. Nichols plays it to the middle, and there's absolutely nobody in a white shirt there. Nauman trying to track back to get a touch on it, and she does a great job of doing just that. And gets it back to her defensive line so the Dragons can reset and get their shape. Jobst plays it forward. Krutner got a little bit turned around trying to play that one. She will follow up and get a touch on it. Now Krutner trying to get a hold on it, and it will be off her foot and out for a goal kick. For the Hawks, Marissa Falk comes back in. And for the Dragons, we will see the first appearance for Yassine Kamara, as she will go to the front line for Dvorak. Nauman gets to it first. Krutner helps it along to Stangerlin. Stangerlin tries a little stop and go. This time she'll just go straight around it. Tries a left-footed low cross, and Hoffman does a good job of getting there as she needed to cut that one out. Kamara was right there.
Yeah, but they slacking. I was doing good for a minute. Yeah.
Jackson. And that will go off of the Dragons. Now will Hagerstown try to move forward a little bit more on this one, needing to try to get some positive momentum. Thrown forward to the corner. Falk chasing it down. And a good job by Zubak to just shield it off for a goal kick. Jobst will place the ball down. Gets it forward. Scott. Nice header by Krutner. Watch out for Stangerlin. Stangerlin's got room to run. Tries to play it forward for Yassine Kamara. And Brooke Jordan got just enough of that to take it away. Now Hagerstown on the counterattack. Spielman hits it forward. Falk trying to run onto it. And it is going to be hit off by Jackson, but Jackson was able to play it off of Falk, and it will be a Howard throw-in. Stangerlin able to turn, and she will just walk the ball forward now with no pressure on her. Finds Scott into the middle. Nichols making a run on the far side. What a ball by Scott! Nichols, her first touch away from goal, trying to catch up to it now in a foot race with Diana James, and James wins out on that one as Nichols comes up pulling up on her hamstring. Oh no, that is not good news for the Dragons. Now it's going to be forward. Falk into the box. Falk with the shot, saved by Murray. The first chance of the game for the Hawks as Marissa Falk ran into the middle of the box. Was hunting for the top right corner, but Haley Murray was all over that one to make her first save of the game. Just over a minute remaining as the Dragons struggling to really regain their composure. Now Jackson will come through. Jackson plays it up for Nichols. Nichols trying to play through that hamstring pull, but is able to continue going forward. She will dribble it to the end line, and it will be played out for a corner kick. Dragons with one last opportunity here as she will play that short. Zubak. And just a heavy touch there. Scott chips into the box. Krutner heads it on. Stangerlin. Stangerlin leaves it off for Krutner. Krutner tries a shot. That one's blocked.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And with that, the first half has come to an end. Dragons in firm control. They lead 3-0 at the halftime intermission. We'll take a break and be back with you with second half action. And we are back in action here in Columbia, Maryland, as the Howard Community College women's soccer team into the box already. Just 40 seconds into the second half. Dragons with a dominating first half, outshooting their opponents 15-1, including the 3 goals, with Sophie Job scoring on the free kick, Molly Nichols tapping in from assist by Lillian Scott and Jenna Nauman, and Sonati setting up Lillian Scott for the third one. As Howard will look to add to that, and for the Hawks just trying to claw their way back into this game and get some offensive pressure. Sonati trying to get pressure on Frey there, but Frey just shields it out for a goal kick. Dragons in their white uniforms with the gold trim going from left to right in the second half, and for Hagerstown in their all green going from right to left. Rollins trying to get control of that. It's going to be out for a Hawks throw-in. Berger trying to find somewhere to go with it. Finally does throw it in, but her teammates just not giving her a whole lot of options. Frey hits it forward. Good touch. And another one as Marin Buckley trying to go down the far sideline. She'll cut it back towards the middle. Buckley scuffs that cross. Jopes will hit it out, but it goes straight to Alexis Kreiner. Kreiner will try a long shot, and thankfully for Haley Murray, does not have to move at all as it comes right to her. Now Zubak will try a counter. She pushes it over the top. Stangerlin trying to get to it, and it's going to be hit out by Jordan. We do have an update from the men's game that is playing at Hagerstown right now. Dragons ahead 2-0 at halftime. As Snotty turns to the box. She'll take a shot, but just couldn't quite get all of that one, and that will be saved. So the Dragons up 2-0. First half goals by Evan Doughton and Baraka Carbo.
They're not loud enough.
Zubak plays it forward as the men's basketball team were just chanting, "Do you hear us?" And yes, we do hear them, as they have been quite excited in this game. Great to see the energy from the fans. Foul on the Hawks there. Jopes gets some backspin to that one, as that will bounce in front of everybody, and it will be hit out by Jordan. Zubak picks up on the second ball. She'll go for I'm not sure if that was a chip or a shot there, but it will just fall to the hands of Hoffman. Punted out by Hoffman. Jopes able to fight through Falk on that one. Zubak will just chip it over the top again, hoping that her forwards will run onto it, and under the pressure, Berger just dribbles it out of bounds. Scott trying to work through James. Scott still able to hold the ball. James will poke it away, and it will be off the Dragons for a Hagerstown throw-in. And it looks like there's a Hagerstown player who may have been maybe struggling right now, as the Hawks number 11, Ava Berger, has just come out of the game, and Abby Sprecher will take her place.
Thank you. Oh, no, she thought she was going to wear that on the field. What?
Play continues as Rollins will try to turn
No setup, no setup,
Nauman.
no setup.
Snotty shields off Buckley, who was trying to charge through it. And it will be out for another Dragons throw-in. Jobst tries another long ball in. Stangerlin spun her back to it, trying to trap it down. Poloni slides it over to Zubek. Zubek, anytime she's had this opportunity, she's just tried to hit it over the top. This time she tries to go low, knocked down by James. She'll throw it back to Scott. Scott tries to cut it through the defense to get it to Nichols, but that one just had too much. Misplayed there by the Hawks, who again are struggling to deal with the Dragons' high press, as they've pushed 10 bodies back in to their own box almost, with only Marissa Falk being isolated against the Dragons' forwards, or excuse me, the Dragons' defensive line. Good pressure by Kreiner. It would take that off of Scott's foot, but it will be out for a throw-in. And now Zubak will push forward to give some assistance. She'll look to cross. That's a beautiful cross in. Stangerlin tries to get a foot on it. Nauman gets to it first, and she'll play it out to Jobst. Jobst able to keep it in. Now she'll go to the corner. Sonati dribbles through. Still Sonati trying to go through it. Sonati taken down, but the ball was taken first, and that was a good call by the referee to not give a foul on that one. Played up. Jobst knocks it down. This is a great cross into the box. Goes through, shot by Nichols, and she volleys that just over the crossbar. Nichols was that close to getting her second of the game. Frey gets some air into this one. Trapped down by Kreiner. Played forward. Kreiner trying to get it to Falk. Picked up by Spielman, who just came into the game. And that one will not be able to find her teammate in green. Nichols, nice job of hitting it off of Abby Sprecher. Quick throw-in by Nichols. Scott, she's got some room to work with. She'll try to just run straight past Jordan, but Jordan has shown great speed in this game. She's come sliding through, and that is going to be played off of Scott for a goal kick. Maddie Reed will come to the game for Maddie Staunch. That is the first appearance in this game for Reed. The freshman listed as a defender and a midfielder. It looks like she's gone into the midfield for the Hawks. And Reed immediately gets in there as she puts her hands into the back of Rollins and is called for the foul. Back 10 minutes into the second half. Madison Zubak standing over the ball. She looks like she's going to try to go for a shot here. No, she'll end up just chipping it in. Headed forward by Stangerlin, and that will be saved by Hoffman. Another good header attempt by Talia Stangerlin. Just couldn't quite get enough on it to trouble Hoffman. Good first touch by Zubak there to trap it down. She'll try to play it forward to Snotty. And now it's Zubak who comes up limping as she'll try to work her way back. Jobs with her non-favored right foot able to get it up. Scott. And she's going to once again just try to run right past the defender. This time Sprecher is able to go low and take it off her. Into the corner, Snotty able to pick it up. She'll cut it back. Snotty will try to cross it in, blocked down by Frey. Frey able to even keep it inbounds. Stangerlin tried to close it, and it will be out for a throw-in. Give a lot of credit to that Hagerstown Hawks defense. They've been put in under a lot of pressure as their midfield is just not really able to get any possession. But that Hawks defense has stayed strong. Snotty able to chest that one down. Plays it into Stangerlin. Stangerlin tries to dribble through. Still Stangerlin. And after a third attempt by Hagerstown, Jordan is able to clear it out. Now Kreiner picks her head up but doesn't pick the right pass as she gives that one right away to Jobst. Nauman plays it up for Snotty. Trying to keep it in and won't be able to do so as that will go out. As Ava Berger will look to be in a position to come back into this game after she ran off the field just a few minutes ago. So Berger comes in for Ashley Frey. Headed forward, Stangerlin traps it down. She goes for the cross. Nichols is there. Molly Nichols takes a touch. She'll get the shot off, saved by Hoffman. She pushes it just out of the range of Lily Scott, who looked like she was going to have an easy tap in there, but couldn't quite get on the other end of that rebound. A great save by Hannah Hoffman. Dragons coming back again. And Scott will be called for the foul as she came in late, trying to put pressure on that. Hoffman now up to 7 saves in the game, and that was probably her best of the 7 there. Reading that shot very well. Played short by Hagerstown. Scott right on top of it. As the wind has picked up here considerably, blowing straight into the camera right now. Substitutions as both teams' number 7s will be going to the game, with Amy Rodriguez of the Dragons going in for Lily Scott, and for the Hawks, number 7 Michaela Eck will come in for Falk. Jobst plays this one forward, trapped down by Jordan. Poloni tries to switch the field. Zubak able to cut it off and get to it. Rollins plays it to the corner. Nichols trying to get a touch on it and can't keep it in bounds. Rollins goes again to Nichols. Can Nichols keep it in this time? She is able to do so. She'll play it all the way back to Zubak. Zubak has some room to look up. She puts a cross right towards the goalkeeper, and Hoffman will let it bounce right in front of her and catch it chest high. And a hard foul there as Eck was trying to come back and get involved, and she just ran through Rollins, and Eck will get a verbal warning from the referee. Now, Sophie Jobst. What a ball in. This one is going to bounce off. Saved by Hoffman. Another long shot by Jobst. This time, Hoffman is able to just kick it away, and she will get control after a little bit of uneasiness on that play. Hoffman has that punt go off the side of her foot. Eck putting pressure on the Dragons, but they will just slide the ball wide. Zubak now will make a run to the middle. Zubak. Now we'll cut back this way. Nichols on the near sideline. Rodriguez tries to help it on for Nichols. Nichols able to get a touch on it. Plays it back to Rodriguez. Zubak. Surveying her options and doesn't get a strong pass off there as Nichols will try to chase it down, but it will be taken away by Spielman. Kreiner trying to go through Zubak now as both players are just fighting for position. Eck. And that's taken away by Howard. That's played sideways. Sonati is tripped up on the play as Sprecher is able to take the ball. Nichols comes forward for a 50-50 ball with Reed, and a foul is called on Nichols on the follow-through. Jordan tries to play it wide. Spielman has some room there. She'll play it to the corner for Eck. Eck being chased down by Jackson of the Dragons. Plays it back. Cross into the middle. And Murray will be able to play that one. And she will now pick it up under the pressure of Eck. Thrown out short to Zubak. Zubak flips it over to Rollins, and a collision between the two players. Both players get up and continue to play. Good job by Berger to hold her ground and poke it away from Rollins. Jackson now will go over the top. Berger is out of position. Nichols dribbles to the end line. Tries to go around Jordan, but Jordan in a great defensive position. Dragons with another corner kick. This will be their 7th corner kick of the game. Hagerstown still has not been able to enjoy one themselves. Nichols will take the right-footed outswinger. That's a beautiful ball right into the middle of the box. Headed on by Nauman. Questions of a handball there. Referee not showing any indication of making a call. And it will be out for a goal kick. So some confusion there about whether there's substitution or not, but the goal kick will be taken by Hoffman and will be out of play for Howard Throwen. Center official still looking around, seeming a little confused by the moment. And now Nauman will be called for a foul, as a good job by Skylar Wetzel to shield Nauman off and hold up play just long enough to get the foul called. Game getting a little bit chippy now as both teams really putting a little bit more body into it. Rollins boots it forward. Stangerlin on chase. That one's going to be given away to Snotty. Snotty tries to play it back up to Stangerlin. Cut out again. Good defense by Sprecher. Try to play forward. Jopes now is the one that takes it. She gives it back as neither team really taking care of the ball very well. Just giving it back and forth. Jopes will try to switch the field for Rodriguez. Cut out by Berger. And this will just be played to the defensive line of the Dragons. Jackson goes wide to Zubak. Now Zubak will just dribble into the middle. She'll look to play it to the corner. Nichols making her run. Berger looks like she'll get to it first and she'll just dribble it out, as we will have 5 subs, 4 for Hagerstown, 1 for the Dragons. So Kamara comes in for Stangerlin for the Dragons, and for Hagerstown it is Stotch, Falk, Frey in, and Mendez, Reed, Berger, and Reed out. Crossed in by Nichols. That's going to be hit out for a throw-in. And Dragons now will make another one as Lily Scott comes in for Nauman. Zubak with a long throw-in into the box, headed out by Kreiner. And looks like she'll get another opportunity at it. This one's actually going to be taken by Nichols into the box. Jopes will try to hit it back in. Gets it to Scott. Lily Scott, she's going to try a shot at it, and that one is going to bounce in front of Hoffman. Hoffman able to knock it down and then pick it up. Dragons not really showing a whole lot of energy in the second half so far. Hagerstown doing a good job of staying compact and frustrating the Dragons from getting a ton of great chances. Now Scott is going to try to play it forward for Kamara. Kamara and Sonati both running onto it. Sonati put on the afterburners, almost got there first, but it's out for a corner kick. Jobst hits a low into the box that is going to be hit out by Kreiner, and Dragons will get another try at it. This one hit to the front post. Another collision of bodies as Sprecher goes down. Play continues. Rollins, she's going to try a shot. That's going to be blocked away by Frey. Rollins, good pressure on the follow-up, gets control. Back goes it, and now she'll cross in the middle. Chested down by Kamara. Kamara tries to play it across as that pass gets deflected. Kreiner, good job by trying to possess the ball, getting it out wide to James. James will get it back to Kreiner. Played through to Wetzel. Scott closes that one down, takes it away. She'll play it off the outside of her foot, trying to chip it into the path of Kamara, and just can't do it, as Hoffman will get control. Under 20 minutes to play in the second half. Eck heads it over Poloni, Gets the inside position on Poloni, but now Poloni will be able to get around Eck. Gets to it. The players will go shoulder to shoulder, and Poloni wins that battle. Excuse me, that was Falk that was fighting for it, for Hagerstown. Kamara tried to go around Jordan. Jordan again, great defensive position. She has had a fantastic game in the center defensive position for the Hawks. Now it's going to be Sonati. She will take her time when she gets down to the box. Waiting for the Dragons to get reinforcements in there. Now they're in there. Now Sonati will try to chip it in. Played out by Jordan. Zubak trying to come through and fight for it, and she will get possession. We'll try to just go around James. James putting her shoulder into Zubak, putting pressure onto it. Ball still in play. Zubak does get around James. Now she has to go through Frey. And Frey will have it hit off her foot, and that will be a corner kick for the Dragons. So Stangerlin will come back into the game as Rodriguez will get a break. And for Hagerstown, it will be Mendez and Brashears who give Alexis Kreiner, who really worked hard in that middle of the park for Hagerstown, as well as Delaney Dudley. Headed forward. Nice header by Rollins there, but that is saved by Hoffman. Hoffman punts to midfield. Falk. Falk still just working by herself right now. Now it's going to be Stotch who's working up to help her. Mendez has that taken away by Rollins. Rollins up to Kamara. Kamara holds up play to get it to Nichols. Great pass across the middle. Scott now with room. She'll look to cross it around. Sonati into the box is offside. So Sonati called for the offside, but what a build-up by the Dragons to get to that position. And the fans showing their appreciation for those plays. Scott, again, normally a forward, playing in midfield right now and doing a good job as a playmaker. Frey. Up to James. James will just boot it back to the middle of the field. And Scott just takes it away from Stotch. Nichols plays it up for Kamara. And it's going to be just a little bit too much as she won't be able to chase that one down, and it will go out for a goal kick. Nichols. Rollins. Rollins will just dribble into the box. Rollins with a shot. Goal! Remy Rollins. What a shot into the top left corner. So for Rollins, just being able to slice through the Hawks defense and put it in, that is her third goal of the season. Dragons' energy is just starting to pick up a little bit recently. And even so, it just took a fantastic individual effort by Rollins to get the Dragons on the board this second half and extend their lead to 4-0. And that will help bring some more positive feelings back to the ladies in white tonight. James will cross it in. Jobes has her foot taken out from her late, and a foul will be called. So Jobes will be able to pick herself off the ground and will take the free kick. Hits it forward. Stangerlin was there, but couldn't quite get a touch on it. Snotty, good touch on trying to get Stangerlin, but again, Sprecher there. Snotty throws it in. Sprecher has nowhere to go with it. Stangerlin just all over her. Now it's going to be Scott with the double team. Sprecher's just stuck in her corner. It's going to go out, and it will be a Hagerstown throw-in. Zubak to Jackson. Good pressure as Falk just working by herself. Nobody else on Hagerstown. And then this is going to be a clock stoppage as for the second time it will be a late foul on Brashears, and she will get called for a yellow card. So Brashears given the yellow card for a couple of late fouls, and Hagerstown will make a substitution of plays. It looks like Sprecher went down on the play somewhere behind, and she'll be able to walk off. Dragons will be able to make one substitution as a 1-for-1, and Krutner will come in for Nichols. So after the yellow card, the injury, a couple substitutions, we will finally get back into play here. Jobes hits it forward. Nauman picks it up for Howard. Snotty again turns the corner beautifully. Snotty tries to hit it forward, but a good job by Diana James to put just enough pressure on and force the hard kick. Dvorak will come in for Kamara. Krutner able to get to it first. Dvorak follows up. Dvorak still trying to work through it. And that is going to be a foul called on Dvorak as she was dangerously trying to play the ball while on the ground and might have taken out the ankles of Wetzel on the play. Kreiner under a ton of pressure, giving it away. Krutner and heavy touch. Jordan boots up the field. Eck heads it forward to Kreiner. And Eck will try to go for the corner ball. Jobes cuts it out, but she gives it right back. Wetzel pointing where she's going to go with it, and Zubak read that, kicks it away. Connie Dvorak comes forward with the ball. Dvorak, Snoddy begging for the pass through, and Krutner gets the ball instead and will be played forward. And I think Dvorak missed an opportunity there, as Tessa Snoddy was making a fantastic run on the far side, and just a little chip over the top could have put Snoddy in on goal. Jackson goes wide to Zubak. Hit up. Stangerlin fighting through a couple of Hawks, still going through, still going, and that ball will go out of play. No, excuse me, and Stangerlin will be called for the foul as she pushed late. And now the clock will be stopped. And now I believe the referee having a conversation with the Hagerstown coaching staff, and play will continue here after a brief conversation. Out for Howard throw-in. 10 minutes left in a 4-0 game. At this point, the officials' main job is just to make sure that the game doesn't get out of hand. With the final result really not in question at this point, with Howard just in complete domination of possession and chances. Scott trying to roll around Frey, and a foul will be called on Scott. Frey throws it up, but Stangerlin's the only one there. She'll play it forward. Krutner tries to get into the path of Scott. And Scott gets taken down just outside the box by Wetzel. And this is a great chance for the Dragons to add to their total. About 20 yards out. So Morgan Madison Zubak standing over the ball. Doesn't look like she's going for the shot here. She will end up going for the shot, going for the high pass. And a good job by Hoffman to just bat it over, as Zubak was just trying to put it into the top of the net and almost succeeded in doing so. In the end, a good save by Hoffman. It will be a Dragons corner kick. Rollins will come in for Sonati for the Dragons, with Stotch replacing Brashears. Jobst goes for the low one, but it will go as a screwball and will go out of the near sideline for a goal kick. Krutner trying to run through there, and sliding Hoffman will take it away. Played through. Buckley trying to go around the Dragons' defense. She plays it into Eck. Eck plays it to the middle, and Falk just a little bit late to make that run in. It was a good look for Hagerstown, one of their best chances they've had in this half, but just couldn't connect on that final pass. And a foul there, and it's going to be a card for Lily Scott, as I believe that's going to be more of an accumulation yellow than anything. So the second player of the game is booked, one for each team. And with just over 5 minutes remaining, Hagerstown now moving the ball up. Eck tries to play in the ball for Buckley. Buckley shields off Zubak. Plays back for Eck. Eck with the low cross in. Shot by Falk. Saved by Murray. And for Hagerstown, that is just their third shot, all of which have been on goal. And Murray has made 3 saves. Now Howard on the counterattack, and Dvorak will be called on the offsides. Play will continue as the center official, I don't think, saw his assistant on the near side. Play will go up now. Stocked. And that's going to be cut out by Scott, and now a foul will be called against Hagerstown, as Scott was the foul-e and not the fouler. Jobst. Look to play it across the middle. Dvorak first to it, tries to trap it down, and it's being shielded off the ball. Pretty sure that the Hagerstown player was not near the ball, and that would be an obstruction at that point. Played back in. And it will be out for a throw in, and Dragons will make 2 subs. As Sonati will come in for Zubak, who played a heck of a game at the right back position, a hard-fought game. And Lillian Scott will also come out with Dvorak going in. Jordan hits it out. Jobs gets it to Rollins. Rollins cuts it around. What a play by Remy Rollins. She'll try to lay it off for Nauman. That won't connect, but Rollins gets it right back. And Rollins will be undercut by Jordan on the play. And Dragons with another great chance just outside of the box. We've seen the Dragons try to shoot high against Hoffman in this game. Had some success with it. Hoffman has been able to make a couple saves, but they've looked uncomfortable at times. We'll see if Jobst will try to go for another one towards the top of the net. She will just chip one, looking for the top right corner, and that will go high and out. So Kamara will come into the game as Dvorak comes out. With the NJCAA rules, the clock does stop anytime the team that is ahead makes a substitution. So that is why the clock will stop occasionally during those substitutions. Kamara. Trying to get around a defender into the box and will end up just going through and gets called for the foul on Wetzel. Played into the middle. Second ball booted out a little bit further. Nichols is now playing central midfield, usually playing in the wing. Nauman cleaned up by Wetzel. And Nauman called for a foul. Buckley trying to get the return ball. Trying to get around the corner, but that is Snoddy who is playing in an unfamiliar right back role, but that toughness will play just fine there. Good turn by Snoddy. Tries to get up to Krutner. Cut out by Frey. Snoddy now trying to fight through and taken out from behind. Play still continued. Tries to go through it again, and eventually a foul is called on Wetzel as bodies went flying around again, and the clock will be stopped with just over a minute. So the fouls have started to rack up here late in the game, and with just over a minute remaining, and you're seeing a player cramping. Tough to see that one so late. So Spielman will come in for Mendez as Mendez will limp off with the cramp. And with just 1:04 remaining in this game, Sonati will take the ensuing free kick. She will boot one into the box. Knocked out. Eck flips it over Sonati. Eck continuing to go down. Sonati tries to put a shoulder to slow her down. A great job by Sonati on the defensive play. And Jackson able to clear it out. Now Stangerlin. Stangerlin trying to follow it up after trying to hit it forward for Kamara. Frey will try her luck. She'll hit it up towards Falk. Poloni all over her. Good turn there. Kreiner, she's behind the defense. Kreiner is able to get it to Falk. Just 18 seconds remaining. Kreiner. And she'll try to play that to the corner, but it is out for a throw, and that will just
10,
about do it.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And with that, the Dragons will win the game. And another fine effort from them as they will increase their record to 6-1 on the year before they start this lengthy road trip. 4 straight road games after this one. So we will see what the Dragons are like after that, as we are a couple weeks away from Howard's next home contest here. Good effort by the Hawks, trying to hold back a Dragons team that has been scoring at will their last few games, and keeping them to just 4 goals Have to give them a lot of credit for their effort. That'll do it for us here in Columbia. Final score, Hagerstown 0, Howard 4.